You have her ID? Yeah. You're under arrest. Your cell phone? No, I don't want to give it to you. Why do I have to?
Because my attorney said not to.
Why do I have to give it to you? This is evidence. Evidence. She's under arrest. I have to go with you. I have to go. I have to go.
Let me help you out.
No, I have to stay. Please don't do this. Don't stay. You need to grab the bags. Take the bags. Yeah, and you need to wait outside. Okay.
My husband's almost 80 years old. He can't
Yeah,
come
I
with
can't.
me?
Please, can I go? No, you can't join me there. Oh, don't do this, please.
Please.
Oh,
Someone's got to help him get home. This is terrible. You can't do this. This is insane.
Can you hold on to that for me?
Is that okay with you?
Please. You don't have that with handcuffs on. She's not going anywhere. Please. Please. Do you have anything in your pocket?
No, no. No.
Do you have anything of value in you?
No,
Does she have a necklace on?
What I got?
You can take the necklace. I'll take it.
Yeah, take it off. Yeah.
And the earrings.
And the earrings. The
You are listening to the Roberta Glass True Crime Report, putting the true back in true crime. From New York City, Roberta Glass is now on the record. Okay. How is everybody? I had to come on here early today. Feel like I need a support group because what we learned today is that Donna Adelson's trial is going to be delayed. And we're going to get into why and how. I think what I'm going to do, just to be fair, since I usually start at 6, I'll really get into that around 6, the whole details of it. But just to give you guys the shorthand, Charlie Adelson was called by the prosecution. I discussed it in my episode called Georgia Cappleman's Boss Move. I think that's what I called it. I hope I'm right. And what I meant by that was the only way that Donna Adelson can go with her defense is to do a Charlie Adelson 2.0 extortion defense. And who would you have as a witness? Now, of course, Donna, the one person that Charlie said he told, even though I think he did at one point say he told his father. The two people, Harvey and Donna, nowhere in the room, said they were going to plead the 5th, fought, testifying, didn't show up for trial, which always makes me laugh when you hear those jailhouse tapes. We're there for you, Charlie. We're there for you, Charlie. Just weeping. We love you. We're there for you. We'll support you. We'll get through this. We'll get through this somehow. So devastated. And I guess I am making light of their devastation because when you really care about someone, you do put yourself in peril. I understand that she thought maybe she was going to be arrested by going to Tallahassee, but by doing the uncomfortable things, by putting yourself in some sort of risk to support the person you love. And they all talked about how stupid the jury was. Well, Donna, why didn't you get up there and you would have been a great defense for Charlie? So back to my, don't let me go off on a tangent here. Back to my defense, why it's such a boss move for the prosecution to take Charlie Adelson as their witness. Not only can they get in more evidence that way, i.e. as like a rebuttal witness, et cetera, but it really cuts him off on issues of credibility at the knees before he ever gets to be introduced to the jury as the defense's witness. So the first time the jury meets Charlie Adelson, he's telling his stupid story that has of being on the Latin Kings payment plan to the jury and being questioned by Georgia Cappleman, who's an excellent, direct, excellent attorney, in my opinion. I love watching Georgia Cappleman try cases. I don't know how you guys feel. I'm just, Sarah Dugan's great too, but I have a special place in my heart. I have the Georgia Cappleman Appreciation Society Facebook group if you guys want to join. We have fun in there talking about the case. So basically, Charlie was brought to Tallahassee and he's like, I'm not going to testify. I can't testify. My lawyer is Donna's lawyer. I'm not signing a waiver, which is really interesting, right? This is the family that's so enmeshed. I always talk about them as a four-headed monster. And now I am going to amend that and say that they're a five-headed monster, because I think Rashbaum is the fifth Adelson. It's not Robert. It's really Rashbaum that is her adopted son. And Donna just looked devastated. I was working today, so took a job. I mean, it was like the worst day ever. Like my timing could not have been worse, right? So I'm getting like little updates as this is going on. Like, oh my law, just wanting to, because I thought when I first checked in this morning with Tallahassee, they said, oh, we're picking the jury. They were picking the jury when this went on. By the way, I just watched, I think it was Court TV or Law and Crime. I believe it was Court TV. And I don't think much of the Court TV personalities or YouTube lawyers in general. But they were really mad at the judge for okaying this. But when Donna is signing a waiver, my question for a lawyer is, could the judge say, no, we can't have this. This case will be appealed. Could he have done that? Is that in his power to say, I know you want to sign a waiver, which is in your legal rights, because then you're kind of interfering with her right to pick her own counsel, right? Donna was like, I'll sign anything you want to the court. So next thing I know, I tune in. So I tuned in backwards. So tuned in this morning to Tallahassee. Hey, thank you, Mariposa. Nice to see you. Thanks for the super sticker. So I tuned in this morning and it's like a shot of Donna and I couldn't even get a really good look at her outfit. And they said, well, we can't stream the audio picking the jury and we can't stream the video. So I'm looking at colored bars. I'm like, well, that's kind of an interesting choice, Tallahassee local station, to go with colored bars for like an hour and a half. And next thing I know, I get the news that Rashbaum is out. And then I had to circle back to find that they had a hearing before this where Donna was like, I'll sign anything you want. We're going ahead with like this new young guy I've never seen before. I don't even know his name. I'm sorry, guys. It's been a crazy day. I don't even know Donna's new lawyer's name. Anybody can help me out? He just got there yesterday. She's like, I'm willing to start this trial Friday with Alec Morris, who looks totally out of his depth. I think he's been doing a lot of the depositions as far as I know, but Rashbaum knows this case inside out, just as Georgia does. He's like, I'm not ready. And Donna's like, because she's still deluded that she thinks that she's getting out after this. And she has to spend time in the Tallahassee jail. And I'm having some unnatural obsessions that I need to talk about. It's sort of like the Katie's breast thing. My boyfriend said to me, "Why are you talking about Katie's breast?" We'll talk about that later. But if you are told a crime story and the payment is a breast augmentation, and you see them in pictures and then they're gone when the same woman's testifying, it has to make you wonder. I know Patty has the same questions about it. Other people say it's just the kind of sports bra she's wearing. They're padded down and they're under there. They're under her prison smock. And maybe they just look bigger the way they were pushed up. I don't know. Certainly look large from the pictures. Anyway, my things that I'm obsessing about are Donna's hair. So she has this hair. Let me see if I can show you guys. Hold on. And oh, wait. Oh, boy. I am all out of sorts today. I am all out of sorts. I should have all this stuff. Hold on 1 second. Let me just get in order here. Hold on. This is from the Keeping Rashbaum. I'm going to just turn off the sound just so we can get a look at Donna. So she has this hair that's hasn't been cut since she got arrested. This is when she's keeping the attorney. Okay, this is this hearing. We'll take a closer look at it in a few. And she has, so her dyed hair is like at the tips. It looks awful. It's pulled back in a bun. She doesn't even have any prison pals that will French braid it for her. I was thinking about, my generation, French braiding. If you had a mom who could French braid your hair, it was like a thing. It was like a status symbol. Like third and fourth graders, right? If you could French braid your hair, something. So here's what I'm obsessing about. If you didn't know, the report from STS, I didn't watch it. I just heard from you guys. Thanks for keeping me up to date. Was that Leon County had never seen anything like it. Donna Adelson was bringing in outfit after outfit to try on. But she's trying on all these because it makes so much sense. She's trying on all these outfits because the whole family's obsessed with image, status, power, the whole surface of life. The things that really don't matter. They haven't figured it out. These people who say, I had a big life change. One of my favorite writers, Hubert Selby Jr., used to talk about this. He had tuberculosis. I feared that at the end of my life, I'd have the end of my life and think I'd blown it all. And I don't even think Donna at the end of her life will even know that she focused on all the wrong things. She's missing the real stuff, the real things of life. Sure, it's nice to have money. It's comfortable to have money. I know these are cliches, but the whole real stuff of life is in the relationships, the real relationships you make, and the real love you have for your children, not the fake love. And not stuff, power, winning, the things that matter. So why there has to have a barbershop there? Because there are people there at the Leon County Jail for a while, right? I mean, if they're letting her wear clothes, I mean, isn't hair an essential part of showing up and for the presumption of innocence? I mean, she can bring in the most shady, in my opinion, jury consultant, or Charlie did, but he can't get his hair cut. I mean, Charlie had his hair cut, right, for jail. Remember how he was arrested? So is there any hair cutting available for Donna Adelson? This is what I'm obsessing about. I think I guess I'll have to shout out to Patty from Patty's Playhouse. She lives locally. Maybe she can find out. She used to work there. I think she said no, but come on. They can't take, no one can. I know from the Nexium trial, Keith Raniere dyed his hair with ballpoint pens, we thought, because he showed up to court in the early hearings with like hair that was so like blue black, beyond Elvis black. So the black is black, to quote Spinal Tap. It couldn't be any more black. How much more black could it be? None more black. So, now this is all her lawyer. This is all the new young guy, Junior. The Junior. There she is. Do you see what I'm obsessing with the hair? The ponytail? I think this society page said like My Little Ponytail did a video on it. It doesn't look good. What's going on? Can no one cut her hair? Okay, I'm going to get off of this subject. As you can see, I can get quite obsessive. So I guess, is it 6 yet? Oh, about 4 minutes. Okay, let's go. So how are you? Let's check in with you guys. I need some support. So maybe 8 months? 8 months till Donna trial? 8 months? Excuse me for having a semi I don't think it's a nervous breakdown. I'm just feeling sad, like a build up to nothing. You know? I mean, if you're going to spend, so I predicted she would have the librarian look, and it looks like that's what she went with. All right, so let's check in with your comments here. How are you guys feeling? All right, here, let's I'll read with you. Thomas Crown says, we will miss Dan's public displays. public displays of incompetence and transparent desire for a money grab rather than properly representing his client, in my opinion. Thank you, Thomas Crown. It's so perfect. I think he has a criminal mind. He's really an Adelson. Like this family, he's got a criminal mind. He likes poker. He seems to like hanging around the underbelly of life, very much like Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson. Does anyone remember the call, the undercover, where Charlie Adelson is like, here's what I like to do. If I get pulled over speeding, which I often do, I like to say I'm an ER doctor to fool the cops so they let me go and I don't have to pay. Oh, she's like, oh, Charlie, that's wonderful. Hey, hi, how are you? Hey, Tia M. I gotta show you I gotta find my Daniel Johnston picture. It's packed away in here. My small New York City apartment. my Manhattan apartment. It's like one of my most prized possessions. Feeling about the same as you. Whoomp whoomp. Yeah, right? Like a build up to nothing. Oh, thanks for the T. Kinsella says, will the defense try for change of venue in next trial? Was the delay a strategy? Yes, I think partially. I don't think he's so out of his element. He can't find his way around the case before Friday. But also the judge doesn't want to say, oh no, we're going to trial next month. I mean, we're starting it all over again, like countdown to a trial, you know? I hope it's not 8 months. I mean, we'll see how Donna feels. Maybe she can say, has she already waived her right to a speedy trial? She has, right? Yeah, I guess there's nothing you can do about it. They just have to go through these hearings again and make sure my understanding is that Alec Morris was on board for all of this. So, okay, he's not lead counsel, but he should be able to pick up, like, it should not be 8 months. I mean, I know this is some of this just because I want to see the trial. It's a little, but I think it's a little absurd to say we have to wait a whole nother year or a whole nother 8 months or longer. What is 8 months from now? Anyone let me know, is that 6 is June? So yeah, something like that. May, June. Yeah, so I think that they're trying to make it comfortable for them. It will advantage Wendy the most, sadly. Ugh. Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear that's the next thing they're preparing for. I don't know if that's the buzz I keep hearing about from people. I don't see it. How do you see this? Looks like, so Thumper says, look like us dumb peasants, respect and follow law. We even respect rights of the accused. This is a huge FU to our justice system by an officer of the court. Oh, Dan. Yeah, I'll get into it. Dan resigning. But really the thing is that he should have never taken this case. And I think what it shows us is how much control Donna, excuse me, I almost called her Donna, Donna has over Dan Rashbaum, which is one of the reasons that she loves him. She can call him at any hour of the day. He will console her. He will baby her. He will treat her like a superstar. He will feed her narcissism. He will go on STS and say she's like my mother. I love her, and against his best judgment, he just should have said, sorry, Donna, I'd love to. I know I represented you before Charlie, but no. And what this makes me think of, the fact that he took this, is that he was hoping, because what I've seen just from reading a lot of court transcripts and going to trials, although I've never seen this happen in any trial I've attended, is that sometimes, for example, the Robert Marshall trial, which case, or the case of Marie, it was a murder for hire of his wife, Maria Marshall, who he had 3 kids with, 3 boys. It's the subject of Joe McGinnis's book. What is it? What is it called? Now I'm forgetting the name of it now. Okay. Anyway, I'll remember it in a hot minute. And what happened in Robert Marshall's trial is during his sentencing phase. Is this at all boring? Or am I boring? You guys, seriously, tell me the truth. This may be going off on a tangent, but I do have a point. In his trial, what he did, Robert Marshall, was in the sentencing phase, they said both the defense and the prosecution agreed to keep it short to 30 minutes because he was in my opinion, a horrible guy. He didn't have that much character witnesses to testify for him. It wasn't going to be long. And so thusly, the prosecution made it short. And he got his conviction overturned years later. Sounds fair at the time, right? But because it was a death penalty case and he got the death penalty, they overturned it on those grounds. So, these things these appeals courts aren't privy to the details, the richness of the case, all the undercurrents that make the case so rich. So when they see it, they're seeing pieces of it, and it's sort of like a Picasso painting, kind of cut up. And so it looks horrible. So, but even before this happened, so we're going to get into that. We're going to watch this hearing. We're going to watch the other one. We're going to spend some time together. But before that, as I'm working, I think the first thing I got wind of was a hot mic moment between Rashbaum and Georgia. So Charlie says, I'm not going to sign this paper. I read his legal documents in the last couple of days when they came out. I don't know if you're interested. I think if you're interested in me going over them, I'm happy to. Crime Junkie, nice to see you. Blind Faith, thank you. Blind Faith, thank you. I was like, all I kept thinking of, Crime Junkie, was Robert Marshall's book, which I own from prison, that he wrote from prison, called Tunnel Vision. It's in my library. Okay, so here we go. So Georgia Cappleman and Rashbaum had a hot mic moment, and Murder by Maestro sent me this, and they seem frustrated. Rashbaum seems frustrated. Georgia Cappleman seems frustrated. And what I got from this was Georgia Cappleman was like, what did you think was going to happen, dummy? You thought this wasn't going to cause any complications? That, I thought, was the subtext of this hot mic moment. Let's take a listen together.
That's what I'm saying. It ain't new. Well, I didn't want to. I also wanted a quick resolution. All the parties were in agreement. The judge was in agreement. So there's nothing new.
That was my one bad judgment on my memory. It's done quick.
Okay, so Georgia Cappleman is saying it's nothing new. So I have the advantage that I can turn the sound way, way, way up in my headphones. It's nothing new. It's nothing new for the judge. We were all in agreement. I don't know about what. And Rashbaum saying it's bad judgment on my part. Yeah, Rashbaum. Now it occurs to you when you have the jury pool in the courtroom, or the courthouse at least. Now that occurs to you. You thought Charlie was going to just sign this waiver and everything was going to be A-okay. Instead, he fought it. Which makes me wonder, what's the situation between Charlie and Donna? Are they, I don't believe they're allowed to talk, but they always find a way, obviously through Dan Rashbaum. You know, I know people go, they're not allowed to talk. They're criminals. You know, you got to get into the criminal mindset. They'll find a loophole, they'll break the rules and nothing happens. Our justice system is just not equipped for the amount of criminality and fraud in America. There's too much of it. Okay? They can only go after a tiny, tiny percent of it. Okay, let's go on.
So they knew I didn't do it. But I got yeah, I mean, Alex would be right.
Is it Alex Taylor? What's the difference?
Alex has no knowledge of anything that Charlie has ever told me.
In one instance, you both come in and say he has no knowledge. In the second instance, you both come in and say you have no knowledge. So this is the difference.
But that's she's okay.
No, I agree.
This I don't understand. Because it sounds like she's talking, Georgia Cappleman's talking about Charlie here. She goes, what's the difference if Alec Morris or you and Alec Morris come in and say Charlie Adelson has no knowledge of anything? But it only makes sense to me if they're talking about Donna here. Let me look at your comments and see. Maybe a lot of times my audience is smarter than I am, has better ears. No, I don't believe. Britt Morris, what are you talking about? I don't believe there are no innocent people in prison. When have I ever said that? When have I ever said that? That wrongful convictions don't happen. Thank you for straw manning. Straw manning my argument. What are you talking about? She said it would still be an appeal issue. Okay. Thank you, Lorraine. I've just had too long a day. Too long a day here. Okay. No, she would said it would still be a appeal issue. Okay, let's get back into it. Thank you for the context. Yeah, I think Morris is just taking the money and running. He's not in for, I don't think he doesn't look like he's enjoying the experience of being Donna's lawyer. Let's take a listen.
For me now in the bar, right?
Well,
I admit it. I can guarantee you that was not the case. You want me to say it? Yeah.
So that's it. I don't know. Kind of. Sorry. Dan Rashbaum saying it's bad judgment on my part. Bad judgment. All right. Before I get into it, I have some people to thank for everyone who's bought me a coffee this month. Dan Lawrence, who's over for the one coffee. Averil Meyer for buying me 5 coffees. Appreciate it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. 2 coffees. And Margaret. Appreciate it. Also, everyone who's become a patron. Averil Meyer. Farriaz. Farriaz. Amini. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Not great with it, as you might have picked up. Jude Barnes. JenTheRN. Thanks, Marie Griani, for upping your membership. Susan, Pepper Mings, Victoria Devonship. I appreciate it. Everyone who supports the show for being a patron. Okay, if you're just tuning in, I went on a little early. Bad news for the Adelson family watchers. If you noticed from the title of this episode, Dan Rashbaum exits stage right or stage left, whichever one you want. Stage right, stage left, he's out. It's a conflict. Thanks, Jill Jane, for becoming a member. It's a conflict. Charlie Adelson was brought on asked to testify, subpoenaed to testify by the prosecution in this Donna's case. And he says, I can't do it. Dan Rashbaum's my lawyer and I'm not signing any waivers. F you, Mom. Sorry. And she's like, you know what I've been thinking? Also, this other thing besides her hair is Rashi, can you hear me? That's what I hear her singing, like Yentl. I think that's from Yentl. I don't know, like just awful, like sad songs. Sad songs to Rashi, because he's going and you can see the pain on her face. So first, if you missed it, we're going to get into the first hearing. So first we heard they're trying to work out these issues as the jury pool is in the courthouse waiting to go through voir dire. We're having hearings. So let's get into Donna Adelson's first hearing.
I believe Ms. Adelson was consulting with independent counsel on that matter. Has she had sufficient time to do so?
Judge, I think I'll let independent counsel, Mr. Commissar, speak to that.
Mr. Commissar?
Yes, Your Honor. May it please the court, just for your awareness.
Okay, this is the new guy that was just hired yesterday. I don't know his first name. Does anyone know his first name? Mr. Commissar. I'm looking out. Tennis girl, do you know it? Anyone? Anyone? I'll wait for you guys to catch up on the delay. He looks like he's maybe just out of law school. All right. I'll be looking out for it. Mark Ivalek, thanks so much. Love your content, Roberta. Faithful follower for a long time. Best Adelson coverage is right here. Thanks so much. I love your voice. Keep up the good work. Thanks. You make my days. So glad you're enjoying the episodes, Mark. Appreciate the super chat. Adam, thank you, Patty. Nice to see you. Patty's in the playhouse. Okay. Doesn't he look like he just graduated law school? Or maybe I'm getting
I've been
very
involved
old.
in this since yesterday. She has had a chance.
Welcome.
She has.
Love that. So he says it with no irony at all. I've been on this case since yesterday, and I've been fully briefed. Here since yesterday. You can see he's smiling. You can even see his cheeks there. This is kind of it's so funny. Your Honor, I met Donna yesterday, and I've been told a few things. Oh my gosh. Adam.
Has had a chance to speak with me. She's in a position where she would not like to lose Mr. Rashbaum. She's willing to make any waivers that are necessary.
I'm hooked on a feeling. I'm hooked on a feeling. I don't want to lose him. He's am I that easy to forget? It's like Donna's country songs, right? I mean, like, you got nowhere to go, Rashbaum. I'm not alive if I'm not with you.
She's not seeking a continuance, and she's fine with currently unprepared counsel conducting the cross-examination of Mr. Adelson should he be called.
Well, let's go ahead and finish the colloquy that we started earlier concerning the waivers. Ms. Adelson, if you can stand once again, you have already been sworn. Now that you've had the opportunity to discuss with Mr. Commissar the issues that are related to the conflict of Mr. Rashbaum, and also any issues as it would relate to proceeding forward under these circumstances, are you in fact waiving any conflicts regarding Mr. Rashbaum?
Yes,
Do you also waive any issue on a future appeal regarding the issue of your son's cross-examination, as it pertains both to the preparation of any counsel who would perform that cross-examination, or the fact that it may not be adequate representation?
Yes.
You may be seated. Does the state have anything to raise concerning this matter at this point?
Just that the
There's no such thing as not adequate. Everything is more than adequate with Dan Rashbaum. He's a terrific lawyer. A terrific lawyer. And a wonderful, warm human being. He's the best. He walks around the courtroom. I love when she says that on the call. He was walking around the court. He doesn't need notes. He doesn't need notes. Man, I might need to start a support group. Maybe I need to start another Facebook group, the Donna Adelson Trial Watcher support group, because this is getting ridiculous. We waited too long. I'm going through the emotions Donna's going through, and we'll get to your comments. I have your comments. We'll get to all this, maybe a little bit of a longer show today.
The state is in agreement with proceeding as outlined by defense counsel. In the limited research I was able to do on the issue, it seems like a lot of the times when it goes the other way and the court in its discretion decides to boot the counsel of record for conflict, the state is seeking that. So I just want to put on the record that we are not seeking for your honor to do that in this situation.
To dismiss Mr. Rashbaum.
Correct.
Very well. I'm going to perform my additional research before we continue this afternoon concerning whether or not this waiver is sufficient. The defendant has made it. She has made it voluntarily. At the same time, whether it is sufficient to survive any review, that is really where my mindset is at this point. Unless any other party has something to raise, we'll be in recess and get started again at 1:30.
Judge, as Ms. Niles, in speaking with her during the break, is she and Mr. Upperman are meeting with Mr. Adelson, because the question has arisen as to whether or not there's a conflict as it relates to cross-examination, or if Mr. Adelson were to have a continued objection to his representation, continued representation of Ms. Adelson. I think that there's some thought that that needs to be confirmed from Mr. Adelson first, because if he takes a different position, it would seemingly disqualify Mr. Rashbaum altogether. That's going to be accomplished. I wanted to let the court know that that's in the works.
Good.
Also, as it relates to the waiver, so the court was aware, and there's mention of it in the comments section.
So what I understand is going on here is they're working on Charlie. I just need you to do this for me. Sign the waiver. It's like, no, hell no. It's not a good idea for you. It's not a good idea for me. This is like a rare moment of common sense for Charlie Adelson. Rare moment. I mean, why I'm angry about this is it was selfish and greedy and stupid of Dan Rashbaum to take this job. My feeling about him, and I obviously could be wrong, it's just an opinion, is that he wants to be in the spotlight. He wants to be a Jose Baez type lawyer. He wants the big cases, big money cases. He wants to play for the big pot. And he gambled on this ridiculous idea of being Donna's lawyer. Well, I mean, you could say he's laughing all the way to the bank because he got paid a couple $1 million, had to be, preparing for this trial. I would think it would be, a lump sum. So what these high-priced lawyers do is, they give you like a lump sum. It's going to be $2 million for everything. I would think that would be the way it was going. So they're not billing out by the hour. But I would think that Donna is making sure she gets her money's worth. She's calling him all the time. He's there all the time in the jail. That's why she hired him. She needs to be the special treatment. The entitlement is off the charts.
Of the rules regulating the profession. That an oral waiver is acceptable and appropriate with certain conditions that are set forth in the rule.
Is the attorney who obtained the waiver available to speak on this matter?
I don't know the answer off the top of my head, but I'm pretty certain, I say within 99% certainty, we'll facilitate it.
Go ahead.
Does Your Honor need, that's why I'm mentioning this. Should I, excuse me, Judge.
Signatures obtained by me, and then the independent waiver did not get a signature, but you could testify independently.
Does Your Honor feel like you need to hear from?
So we have a fully developed record, yes.
Okay, let me make arrangements during the break, and I'll alert chambers as to how quickly we can do that so we don't waste time this afternoon if possible.
Please do.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have the afternoon jurors report at 2 o'clock.
So did I hear that correctly? That Charlie had to meet and put his objections on the record, or give his waiver on the record, and was like, heck no? Am I understanding what's going on correctly? I need a lawyer. SOS lawyer translation, because I've never seen this situation before. Never seen it. Trying to navigate my way through, trying to put on my thinking cap and my listening ears, opening, and also I'm behind because, like I said, I was working today. I'm coming at this late. I prepared as much as I can, but this is, am I understanding this is what's going on? Let me read the comments, see. That is correct. Okay. All right.
So that way no one's time is wasted while we're going through these matters. Mr. Commissar, you had something else to add?
Yes, Your Honor. Just as we're talking about perfecting a record, I just wanted to note that as the independent counsel, I was given an opportunity by the court to meet with her independently. The bailiffs gave us some privacy here. I was able to meet with her for.
Oh my gosh. Did you guys see that look Donna gives Rashbaum? Look at this. All I got is you. All I got is you. With you by my side, we can do anything. Look at this. It's so, just look at Donna's, the look she gives him. It's like holding out hope. I mean, this is the essence of Donna. So I know Patty is really the only person I listen to on this case. So I know I'm not going to repeat her idea. She has such a distinct personality. I know I'm not going to, or I hope I'm not going to repeat her ideas as my own. But here you go. Look at Donna. This is Donna. So I think it was Patty who said that Donna knows that she's cooked. She knows that she's going to prison. I don't think so. I think she's optimistic to the end that she's going to get away with this. She's got the best of the best. And why he's the best of the best is because she picked him. He's her lawyer. So it has to be the best. I mean, I don't know, I feel like I speak fluent Donna. I really do. I feel like I speak fluent Donna. But check this out. Check out her look at Dan Rashbaum here.
Perfecting a record, I just wanted to note that as the independent counsel, I was given an opportunity by the court to meet with her independently. The bailiffs gave us some privacy.
There it is. I look to you. My tower, my small tower of strength. Dan Rashbaum.
I was able to meet with her for easily 30 minutes, and I'm not revealing any of our confidences, but this was not a squishy situation. Once I was able to articulate the options and how they can result in delay or the opportunity to prepare, this, I can say, was a strategy decision that is being made by a defendant who does not want to delay their case, but understands that the representation they're going to get from my cross-examination is not what they might get from another lawyer, or definitely not what they're going to get from me with a year of preparation. So it may look odd in a cold record having a lawyer come in this morning and advise somebody to waive such an important right. I was able to articulate the options, but I did not necessarily advise somebody to waive their rights.
Yeah, he's like, I can't even advise you to waive your rights as a lawyer. This guy seems like he has some ethics. What's he doing on this team? How did he get on this team? Dude, you're in the wrong place. Adam. Wasn't that a made-for-TV movie? Not the crime Adam, but there's something about Adam. Wasn't that a made-for-TV movie? About a young kid's coming out. Am I wrong?
Well,
but this guy is on the wrong team, And and this is of course a snap judgment based on nothing, but I'll just tell you what I'm thinking as I'm watching this. His cross-examination of Charlie Adelson may be better than Dan Rashbaum's, because he doesn't have how many years of Adelson delusions stamped in his head.
Mr. Morris, do you wish the court to engage in any further colloquy with Ms. Adelson concerning this matter?
Not at this point, Judge.
Very well. Ms. Adelson, I do not want you to respond, but I want you to understand, although you have made an affirmative waiver on these matters, I still have to evaluate whether that waiver is sufficient or whether Mr. Rashbaum needs to be terminated from this matter.
Okay. Why now? Why is this going on now? This is lunacy. It doesn't make Tallahassee courts look good. That's all I can say. It looks like a crazy kangaroo court that all this is going on now. Doesn't it? A little bit? Is anyone else having those feelings? Liz W., thanks for the super sticker. I had a question and I stupidly clicked off on it. Hold on one second. I'm going to go up and get it. I don't know how this... why didn't Judge Everett sanction Rashbaum? I don't think he can sanction him over it, Sally A. And I think you had another question. I don't think he can. I think that it's her right to pick the counsel she wants. Just as a lawyer, I think that it's just common sense that there's going to be so many issues that you just can't do it. You have to tell the client, I can't do it. Right? What's it like? I don't even know if there's any kind of analogy. I'm trying to make analogies of like people who meet, right? Meet in an hour, get married in Las Vegas, right? Who've just met. Like, okay, maybe there are like a couple stories of that working out. Maybe there have been issues where people have done this before and it's worked out. I don't know how many criminal crime families there are. Related people go up on murder charges, but okay, the same lawyer. But you want to tell the people like, maybe no, it's not a good idea to get married in an hour, and that someone you just met an hour ago in Las Vegas. You can do it, but just because you can do it and you have feelings doesn't mean you should, which gets to the essence of this case, doesn't it? Just because you want to win and you want your grandchildren and you want power and control over your grandchildren, I take them to the music lessons. I take them to the park. I control. I raise. I fake love. I perform fake grandmother love, right? And Dan Markell is in the way. And just because you want to kill him doesn't mean you should. Doesn't mean doesn't mean you're not purchasing your own ticket to the Titanic. But the Adelson family are a family where you can tell them you're purchasing a ticket to the Titanic and scream at them. And they'll say there's something wrong with you. You're too dumb to get their brilliant plan. Sally A. So Charlie's going with an ineffective assistance of counsel. I don't think that's his argument. I just think it's his argument. Like, he's my lawyer. No, I'm not going to wave this away. I have the right to not have my own lawyer cross-examine me, who's also representing my mother. There's a conflict here, and I'm not going to waive it. That's my understanding of it. Katie M. was the only one with ineffective assistance of counsel. So true, Sally A. You are right on the money. Not Charlie. Charlie and Donna praised him to the moon and back. By the way, I did forget, Spacey Dove sent me a super chat right as the show was ending. I just want to thank her, acknowledge her. I do try to read them, but once the Donna music is playing, it's kind of not coming back. But I do appreciate it. What I should have done is screenshotted it and brought it to the next show. My apologies. Spacey Dove, shout out to you. Okay, I think we're all on board. So this is the end of this hearing.
I'm going to give this serious consideration. I will do additional research of my own from there. Everyone will have an answer this afternoon. We are in recess until 1:15. Please come back to the courtroom at that time.
Judge, would you be open to both sides submitting case law for your consideration during the recess?
Certainly.
So they're meeting in private. Bush Comics says, I'm a little late to the Adelson party. Why does Donna call Dan gibbers? I think it's just a derogatory name that they thought up. I think because he's jibber jabbering. He was talkative. He liked to talk. Not unlike Charlie Adelson. Also, don't ever stop doing the Donna voice. The Donna voice, or I'll rough you up. From Knox. Yeah. I mean, why was I so dumb? Why was I so dumb to pour over all these appeals documents and court documents when I could just say everyone's who claims to be falsely convicted is guilty, and there's no one ever has been falsely convicted in the history of the world. Why was I so dumb? Why was I so dumb to do all this work? To make a nuanced argument that would be interpreted as something so silly as that. Of course, human beings are fallible. Our court system is made up of human beings. So anytime you have human beings, you have mistakes. Just not at the rate that the Innocence Project is saying. Read the court documents of these cases, guys. Read the appeals documents. Read it all. It's all out there in black and white, how this stuff is going down. Check out my, just did a show on the North California Innocence Project and the lawyer who seduced a convicted killer into confessing to get her client out. It was the second largest payout in our civil courts for wrongful conviction, quote unquote, San Francisco history. They offered him a part of the civil suit money if he would just confess to the crime because he had nothing to lose. And he's got screenshots and text messages with this lawyer, racy text messages. And she is being reviewed by the California bar. That's going on. Big Innocence Project scandal. Not the first. All right. I'm going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to look at your comments real quick, and then we're going to get into Donna Adelson, where Dan Rashbaum exits the scene. Don't go anywhere because I need you near me here. I'm having a hard emotional day. Tough day for me as a Donna Adelson trial watcher. It's going to be delayed, maybe 8 months, maybe. Because Dan Rashbaum, on the day of the voir dire of the jury, he decides he's going to resign because Charlie Adelson will not testify with Dan Rashbaum cross-examining, because Dan Rashbaum is still Charlie Adelson's lawyer. Still. Be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a minute.
We're not taking a break. Grab a snack or maybe a glass of wine. Roberta will be back in no time. This podcast is listener supported, so smash that like button and subscribe, or become a patron for exclusive content if you are so inclined. Have something to say? Shoot Roberta chat. She will do her best to read it on air without delay. Now Roberta's back and ready to put the true back in true crime. Here's Roberta.
Okay, let's get into Dan Rashbaum. You can already see the look on Donna's face, the forlorn look. So sad, too bad, so sad. Donna Adelson, what could have been, thinking about what could have been, what might have been, right? I could have had everything. I could have had the best attorney. I could have had Danny as my lawyer. But my own son betrayed me. Wouldn't sign off on a silly waiver. A waiver. I don't know. What is she? You think she's mad at Charlie? Let me know what you guys think.
I'm almost scared to speak. Does anyone have anything to raise before we continue forward?
Yes, Judge. May I approach the lectern?
You may.
So, Judge, with the surprise issues of the last couple of days, I have asked for my prior client's waiver again. And with the change of circumstances, he has decided not to give it. So let me be clear. I have a waiver in the past. It's from December 12th, December 13th. And an independent lawyer spoke to him as well, although did not get a signature on the waiver. So we had a waiver. We thought we had a waiver. We didn't think there was an issue. But given the events of the last 2 days, I approached appellate counsel to get a new waiver. Thought that was the right thing to do, obviously, and the cleanest thing to do. And I am not able to obtain that waiver at this point.
Because the appellate counsel's like, heck no, this is the best thing. I guess maybe you're right. Maybe he is going with these kind of ineffective assistance of counsel. I mean, that's generally what they go for in appeals. It's ineffective assistance of counsel. And sometimes it's hilarious. Like, if you saw my community post, P. Diddy, as I predicted, was federally charged exactly how I predicted by the Southern District of New York. They're really trying to make their name with these kind of trafficking cases, from the NXIVM case to Larry Ray to Kevin Spacey even. I mean, I guess that's really a civil case, but not Kevin Spacey. Let's see. I know there's another big one, Harvey Weinstein. Even though the NXIVM case is in the Eastern District, but New York is trying to make their name federally for these kind of cases. Also, Nygaard, that's a Southern District of New York case, I believe. So, Ghislaine Maxwell, there's a trial they attended. Hello, Southern District of New York. So they've charged him with those kind of charges. He was arrested last night, very late. Or it came late in the news, late in the evening, the news came.
As a result, I need to withdraw from the case.
Very well. Does the state wish to be heard concerning the withdrawal of counsel?
I don't think I have anything appropriate to say on the matter, Judge. Your Honor,
Well
that's what
put.
we need to do. We would like to proceed, and I'd ask Your Honor to inquire whether we can proceed with second chair representing Ms. Adelson, but obviously we're ready for trial and there's a lot at stake.
Mr. Moore.
Right. So you have to think how Georgia Cappleman is feeling in her awesome white suit. Doesn't she look like, she looks like, Lauren Bacall or something, like a classic movie star in that suit. doesn't she? So I don't know. I think it looks great on her. But she's like, I don't have much to say. Can we just get to trial? I've been working really hard, busting my hiney to get this case ready on time. I know it inside out, but we're ready. We were ready yesterday. Let's go. And this is where Alec Morris says, because he knows he can. So I think more that to answer whoever asked in the beginning of the show, is it a tactic? Yes, it's a tactic. But anytime a lawyer is offered more time, mostly these early hearings are lawyers behind, begging for more time, pushing schedules. I thought Donna's trial, if you go back to last year, I thought this was awfully early. I said, I actually predicted it would be delayed. So I don't know why, but it's a little weird on the day that it's happening. It's a go. The jury pool is there. I think it would be delayed. This was my experience of these high money, high profile trials. They get delayed because these people have the money to pay for these lawyers to delay it for them. So yeah, they'll take it. They'll take the time. And yeah, my point about the Southern District of New York, I've seen rich people like, believe Keith Raniere, don't quote me on this, fact check this, did argue in his appeal ineffective assistance of counsel with Mark Agnifilo, who is now P. Diddy's lawyer, was Nexium guru, cult gurus, Keith Raniere's lawyer, is now P. Diddy's lawyer.
Horace, are you prepared to move through this trial without Mr. Rashbaum?
Judge, I did enough. I tried to think about all of the different potential rabbit trails, and the short answer is I do not believe that I am going to be able to be adequately prepared to proceed forward with the present calendar, primarily because of the division of labor in the case. I would move to continue for a brief period of time. That's also, in speaking with Mr. Offerman, which is an issue that I'm going to request that we address, the objection by Mr. Adelson would still pertain to my cross-examination, and by extension, the third party would conduct cross-examination. In short, I need time to regroup.
Before we finish today, I will have the in-camera hearing review concerning whether you have been properly walled off. As to the withdrawal of lead counsel,
Did you guys just hear that? So they're having an in-camera meeting, which means like a secret, unrecorded meeting to make sure that Alec Morris has been walled off, meaning Rashbaum is like a virus. It's so bad. The conflict of interests are so bad. They're going to see in a secret meeting with the judge if the conflict of interests have rubbed off on him. And he's been sufficiently walled off. 8 months may be optimistic, guys. Let's get real here. You know, the wheels of justice move slowly, turn slowly. This is beyond. I think we can expect a really big delay here. If he goes and we just have Junior left, that's what I'm going to call him, Adam Junior. He just looks so young. I can't get a really great look at him from the front. Maybe he's an older guy who looks young. I don't know. He looks like fresh out of law school, by maybe 5 years out of law school, something like that.
Going to permit it. The conflict issues are so severe, I believe, to move forward with the trial. Ms. Cappleman, Ms. Dugan would place us in a position where...
So this is my issue. It took Charlie Adelson for the judge to realize that the conflict issues were so severe. I get it. Donna has a right to pick the counsel she wants. However, not if that right, does that right I guess this judge sees his interpretation of the law. Is that right? If she's willing to waive her rights and Charlie is willing to waive his rights, why didn't they check this out? Why was this waiver not signed 6 months ago? Why is this all happening now? It really does look bad. Makes the Tallahassee courts look bad. It should have been ironed out earlier, I believe. It's not like nobody could see this coming. We all saw this as an issue. If you had half a brain, you knew this was a bad idea.
We would end up in a reversal. Let's go ahead and set a case management date. As to all the expense that has been undertaken with moving witnesses and preparing for trial, the state certainly, as a part of any cost of prosecution, if you are successful, may seek those costs as it relates to today, as this continuance will be charged to the defendant. As to a new date, when would the parties like to have a case management?
I think as soon as possible, Judge. I'm prepared to brainstorm with Ms. Cappleman and Ms. Jude and with the state to be able to get a trial date if we wanted to do that. So I don't know if we need additional time.
The student advised she has a court date October 15th, so that would be my suggestion.
10:15 at 2:30 will be the follow-up case management to today. Before we go into recess, I am going to conduct the in-camera hearing with Mr. Morris as to any remaining issue of who should conduct the cross-examination of Charles Adelson if called as a witness. If the court...
If, it's not an if. My understanding was Charlie Adelson had already been moved. I mean, he was testifying, like it or not. I mean, this may be his way of trying to just get out of testifying. Because also, he doesn't want to mess up his appeal. Anything he could say in this trial could mess up, right? I think we could mess up his appeal, I would think. Could it? No. Could it? Future appeal? I don't know. That's what I would think. You just don't want to, I don't think he wants to do it. I don't think he wants to testify against his mother. And by the way, when he did testify, that's when he thought he was going to get out of it, and he had his story down cold. He hasn't had Rashbaum to quiz him for a year and play Georgia Cappleman and get all his dates down right. He's out of practice. He's rusty. He's not ready to testify. Just like any lawyer will take this as a delay, he'll do what's best for him. And I mean, it's really so emblematic of this family. They all do what's best for themselves. So Charlie Adelson, you can say, well, why did he go along with, why did he plot this murder, right? Why did he do it? Because he had a need for admiration and to be the go-to, in control, in charge. They all have a need for control. And his mother's approval. They're so enmeshed. That's what he was getting out of it. That's what he did it for. The need for power over his family and over life in general. I mean, I can get into the Adelson mindset some more, but they see the suckers. We're the suckers in life, the ones who play by the rules, who don't just act criminally and and impulsively do what we want, or not impulsively, plan meticulously to do what we want. We're the suckers. We're the dumb ones. And we're just like their marks, like pawns in their game to play with and manipulate. Mr. Ramble On says they can waive them, but they can withdraw them. So the waiver at any second, so they're really inconsequential. Right. Good point, McRamble on. Donna could have withdrew this in the middle of the trial. What a sense of power, right? Or waiver. Sorry, my trial isn't fair. It's not going the way I want it. It's not fair. There are issues here, conflicts. You know, the problem with criminals is they're going to manipulate, right? They're going to manipulate our legal system. I'm not saying this is a manipulation by Rashbaum. I'm saying it's stupidity by Rashbaum and greed that got us here. But I think that Donna Adelson liked the idea that there were conflicts too. I mean, I think also she's paranoid. No, she knows Rashbaum. He's in the circle of trust. He's I'll call him the fifth Adelson. He's the Harry Nielsen of the Adelson family. The honorary, like Harry Nielsen was the honorary Beatle. Rashbaum's the honorary Adelson. And she thought she was gonna get all her emotional needs met and be babied and pampered by him. And because she picked him, he was her lawyer first. He's the best. Oh, what a crazy, crazy, crazy thing, right?
Reporter can meet me in the jury room. Mr. Morris, please as well.
Wow, you see that? That's an angry look Donna just gave. She's angry. Things aren't going her way now. She's angry. She's moved from sadness to anger. She looks a little angry at Rashbaum, just a little bit, but angrier at the whole situation. And now we're back to poor me, right? Dan Markell is haunting me from the grave. Nothing goes right for my family. Not that we're a family of human beings. Not that I picked a lawyer with zero common sense, like the Adelson family. Like, I mean, guys, it's so frustrating. I really think I need to start the Donna Adelson trial watching support group because this is really frustrating watching. Shall we go on with the hearing? We're only a quarter of the way through it. I think even the cameras were like, they couldn't believe it. They kept filming. They're like, what is going on? You can even see the camera. Look how long this is. What is going on? We're not turning off the camera till we have to. Oh, there's a shot of it. He doesn't look quite as young there as I thought he looked. Here's a close-up. Yeah. No, he's not just out of law school. He's been around a little bit. He is on the wrong team. How did he land here? I'd love to know. Does anyone know? He seems like he has way too much common sense. I'm not crazy about lawyers, especially defense lawyers, as you know, in general, on either side, really. But this one seems like he has, at least publicly, understands. I mean, if he's going to say publicly, obviously, I'm not going to advise anyone to waive their rights, even with Donna breathing down his neck. He's not going to be pushed around. How long do you think he's going to last on this team? 3 minutes? Is this the last we're going to see of him? Predictions. All right, I'm going to put some polls in the things. Predictions. Is is Adam is going to last on the Donna team? I think the question is not how long, is not if, how long. 1 day, 2 days? Is this the last we're going to see of him? Or is it's got to have to be a new co-counsel. And I don't know if this guy is going to be up for this, is he? Do you know who else he represented? Okay. Yeah, this is what we're looking at. We're looking at an upset Donna. The brows are furrowing. Rashbaum's trying to console her. Yeah, I know, Rashi. I know. Yeah. Yeah. Only clutching a tissue in her hand like her life depends on it. Holding her tissued fist up to her cheek. But what will I do without you, Rashmi? What will I do without you? You're my everything. You're my everything, Rashi. They don't know this case. They don't know anything. They're stupid. Now the lawyers are stupid, Rashi. They don't know. Come on. Come on. Adam's trying to get into the circle of trust. He's trying to break in. He's not in it. Donna's like putting her back to him. Like, sorry, you're not in the circle of trust. It's just her and Rashbaum. You and me against the world. Sometimes it feels like you and me against the world. Yeah, so it's just interesting. You know, she's got all this like face work done. So her nose doesn't really go with her face, you know. It's just like not a natural looking face. It's like kind of a doll-like face. Not that I'm shaming her for look. Now she's blowing her nose. No tears though, because no tears are coming. Eyes are dry. So this is also a little guilt. Yeah, I just feel guilty. I don't know what I'm going to do. What am I going to do? It's terrible, my own son. Now she's trying to well up tears. She's wiping away her dry eyes. Did you guys just see that? She's wiping away her non-existent tears. This is a family. If you followed my episode about Harvey Adelson and Scott Radius, where he's guilting Scott Radius trying to get Charlie's investment in a Vietnam property, which Charlie invested in without any documents because it's illegal for Americans to own property in Vietnam. So Charlie Adelson was trying to do something illegal, not leave a paper trail. And Harvey was saying, well, Charlie's always been a good friend to you. Just call him. He wants to hear from you. You know, all this stuff. I know that he worked hard to make you staying at his house. It was so weird. He didn't say home, house. A house, a memorable experience. Which someone commented that it sounded like maybe Harvey, something illicit was going on there that they have over him. I don't know. Scott Radius is a guy who moved from a lot of different kinds of jobs, cop for 2 years, you know, which is all sorts of like very, very before moving to Singapore and managing nightclubs. He's married to a Vietnamese woman. So she owns the properties. And he was working very hard to say, like, look, you know, can't return it before agreeing to return a big chunk of change. So something like $35,000, something like that. So I guess he's doing well. If he can just cough that up quickly. Yeah, no Meryl Streep. There's a lot of guilt. Yeah, nobody can believe it, just keeping the cameras running. What do you think is going to happen here, guys? Yeah, so really, I'm not going to keep this going much longer. I don't know if I have all that much more to say, except it's, you know, if this got worked, it's just that when Rashbaum announced that he was going to be Donna's lawyer, all our jaws dropped. And we all said, how is this going to work? This is a conflict of interest. No, this is a stupid idea. I have to go back to the STS interview. Was he asked about that? Had to be, right? Maybe we'll look at that tomorrow. Although every time I play Rashbaum, people are like, I can't take it. Let's take a break from this. Look at your comments, and we can come back to this in a second. Looking at Donna. Us looking at Donna. Donna looking at Alec Morris like, you ain't much, baby, but you're all I got. Yeah, any lip readers? It's a great time for lip readers. I would love to know what they're saying. Okay. All right. Let me get out of this. Get into your comments. A lot of fun comments from you guys. Don't go anywhere.
We got you coming. You had something to say. You were insightful. Oh, so clever. So Roberta's going to read your comments. Hey, Roberta. Read those comments.
Okay. First off, we have a one from the quieter. Is it the quite rum come the more? I don't know. More come. I don't know what. The quiet or something. Rub come the more. Oh my days. I'm so addicted to and slayed by the Donna impressions. I'm on the floor laughing my arse off. Lots of laughing emojis. Why do you listen to this channel? The New York Donna impressions, hands down. The rest of it is purely material. Just give her the material, please. Well, thank you, but it does have its haters. There's lots of people saying they can't stand it. It's the worst part of the show. Not a lot, but some. It's not funny anymore. But you know, now it just, I feel like it's hard not to do. Violet Damist, Violet. It's not just the gum chewing. It wasn't Rashbaum who was chewing gum. It was a woman behind him, and that triggered someone in my audience to say they'll never listen to me again. And my voice was horrible. So for everyone who loves something about this channel, there's someone who hates it. That's what you learn. It's not just the gum chewing that triggers me in Rashi. It's everything. I think he's a horrible guy. I think you're onto something there. Kathy Barella says, Roberta, most breast augmentations only last about 10 years. Then you have to have them replaced. Some women have encapsulations or hardening of the breast and other complications. I had a friend who had to have hers removed due to health issues. So yeah, I guess it's been around 10 years, close to 10 years. Good point. I just would think if I were Georgia Cappleman, but maybe this is why I'm not an attorney, I'd have to say, and where are those breasts? Is it true that you got 1/2 a breast job for being the middle woman in Dan Markel's murder? And where are those breasts? Ms. Banoa, where did they go? Paul Nugent says, wonder if Charlie has stopped giggling. Yeah. Maybe he's having the last laugh now. Is that what this is? Is this all about power and control? And I'm getting out. My only chance is with appeal. Because if you listen to my Harvey episode, they're all hoping for appeal. And Charlie getting out on appeal. Salty 343 says, stop the play acting, Donna. You knew this was a possibility. Nice try. That's with the arrest. I think you're talking about Salty. And what's funny is when I get those comments, I think you're talking to me. I'm like, do you mean me as Donna? Or do you mean stop the play acting? Stop play acting as Donna. Righty. So yeah, that's what happened. Predictions. Let's check in on your predictions here. Predictions on when do you think this is going to trial? I think a lot of people are saying, let's look at our poll here, 211 votes. How long will Adam last on Team Donna? 93% say 1 day. Oh, 33%, sorry. It's very divided. 1 month, 31%. 3 months, 15%. All the way, baby. 20% are saying he's going to trial. The money has to be very good. It's just, it doesn't look like Donna. Let's take another look here. And I'm really not going to drag this out very much longer. I don't think. Is there something we haven't looked at or haven't discussed that's happened today? I can go through his documents, but take another look. He's trying to get into the circle of trust. And Donna, I mean, just out of boredom is listening to him, it seems like. But she had her back fully to him just 2 minutes ago. And there's that ponytail. It's odd to be so dressed up for court with the hair so disheveled. No? Am I being petty? Here's what it is, guys. I'm confused as to someone who's so obsessed with image and looks and status that the Leon County Jail had never seen anything like it. Someone bringing so many outfits brought into jail for her to try on for court. So she was really concerned about having the right image, because part of the idea of this murder was that the Adelsons felt like because of their money, they were protected, because of the way they looked from the outside, the perfect family with the perfect kids. Forget Charlie, but he was a big-time periodontist, don't forget, at the Adelson Institute, lest we forget that no one was going to point the finger at them. And if someone did point the finger, meaning if the poor people they paid to do this pointed the finger at the rich people, they were politically protected, and no A or B, no one would believe them. Because what family would do this? What rich, educated, well thought of family would plan a murder? A murder. Donna, that's who. Because it's all a facade. They hold on to that image because they need it. Also because there's nothing for Donna underneath. She only exists on the surface level of life. Money, power, winning, getting over. Those are the things that motivate her and consume her. So now she's trying to guilt Alec Morris, and he doesn't seem as susceptible, excuse me, to it as Rashbaum. Another reason why he's second chair, not the top banana. Now it sounds like almost looks like a little ironic humor before she starts wailing. A little ironic humor before I start wailing and complaining it's terrible. I'm trying to produce tears, guys. I'm trying to produce tears. I have no tears. I just have my hanky. And I'll wipe it across my eyes as many times as I can. Maybe then my son will see what he's done to his mother, his own mother. I would think that would be the gist of it. Oh, Rashbaum's back. Danny Boy's back. I mean, Georgia Cappleman just looks like over it.
Everyone can be seated. The court has concluded its in-camera hearing with formal counsel and remaining counsel, Mr. Morris. Mrs. Adelson, depending if you choose to hire additional counsel or just reset the trial date, you'll certainly be able to work with Mr. Morris as your attorney in making that decision. But the trial is going to be continued from today. The jurors will be released this afternoon. Again, as to the inconvenience and delay that this has caused, I'm not happy, but at the same time, we're trying to get this right so we do not have to do it a second time. I will speak with the parties again when we have the next case management hearing. We are in recess.
Oh my gosh. You know what I just thought of? What about all the people that are in Tallahassee now that bought tickets to go to this trial? Meaning plane tickets and stuff. Whoa, was it expensive? Oh, well, at least they'll have fun. I hope they'll have fun together. I hope it'll be a party there. I feel we're all with each other in spirit, feeling just incredibly disappointed by this. Dean Walker, nice to see you. Thanks for the super sticker. How's everyone else feeling out there? Disappointed, right? I don't know. Sad, disappointed. All right, so that's what I have for today, guys. I'm going to take a quick break. When I get back, I'm going to read a few of your comments, talk a little bit more, not too long. Don't let me talk too long. And we'll go through a victim impact letter. I'll be right back in 1 minute. It's just a minute break. Don't go anywhere. I will be right back.
We don't take a break. Grab a snack or maybe a glass of wine. Roberta will be back in no time. This podcast is listener supported, so smash that like button and subscribe or become a patron for exclusive content if you are so inclined. Have something to say? Shoot Roberta a super chat. She will do her best to read it all air without delay. Now Roberta's back and ready to put the true back in true crime. Here's Roberta.
Okay. So I'm just going to check in on the chat, see how you guys are feeling. If you have questions, comments, just use the red emoji so I can see it. Disappointed. You guys are disappointed. Yeah, me too. And yeah, thank you, Mary Jane Bianco. Feel bad for the Markel family. Of course. They're serving a life sentence of grief. And to have all the build up to this trial and the stress of it, to again have it extended again, like this hasn't been going on long enough. Yeah, thank you, Mary Jane Bianco. Yeah, I'm selfishly thinking about my feelings and, just covering this. You do get invested in these stories. I know maybe it's kind of weird. Maybe it's something weird about it. I don't know. But when you follow them, yeah, Patty, you going live? She says she's not. She's working. Yeah, Thumper says, do you have a number to give to Donna for the firm Cain and Abel? Do you have the number for Cain and Abel? She needs like the old. Do you guys remember those advertisements when what's his name talks? People listen. E.F. Hutton. Do you remember those? I'm really showing my age. People listen with that law firm. I think they were a civil firm though, but Dan Rashbaum was a civil lawyer. So, all right. I think we've wallowed in our saddy feelings or my saddy feelings. Only consolation long enough. I'm going to move on. going to buck up, guys. Buck up. Pull myself up. Stacy's mom says, only consolation, Donna remains in jail and Charlie will be in prison forever. I bet Donna thought she'd be home by next week. Yeah. Yeah, I think the same way, Stacy, that she's doesn't want to be in jail any longer. And she thought, oh, I just have to get through my trial and then I'll be home with Harvey. And what I'm interested in is I don't think Harvey's going to attend this trial, which I think is so bizarre. He should, but I hear he's not doing well. That's all I can say. Can't really go into any more detail than that. And I don't mean how, yeah, I guess, Ronnie, anyone else had the thought that this all might have been planned? Yeah, maybe. No, I don't think so. I think it was, yeah, in a way, I think that was her ace in the hole. Like after she got convicted, she thought maybe she could appeal on it and probably could and may have won on those appeal issues. You know, just because you waive things and iron things out, like I said, appeals courts, look at the Weinstein case in New York that got undid. One of the victims in that case wrote an article like, that was the stupidest ruling. The appeals courts make a lot of stupid rulings, in my opinion, just from someone who's read a lot of court documents and appeals documents, because they don't see the whole case. They're not there from the early hearings on. They don't see all the dynamics. You know, the devil's in the details. It's true for crime cases too. So by the time it gets to the appeals court, things can look very unfair or out of proportion. But when you've seen someone say, waive their rights and be asked 100 times, are you sure you want to go with Dan Rashbaum? 1,000,000 times, and you see her say yes, 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 and keep waiving her rights. She knew. So, but that still, it's beyond stupid, the whole thing. Okay. Without delay, I'm going to read a victim impact letter when I don't read too often. This is June 2019. So I believe this is from the first trial. To whom it may concern, I have been called with great heartache to write this letter regarding the tragic loss of Dan Markell. I had the pleasure of meeting Dan at a number of his family celebrations that I had officiated as a rabbi to his sister's family. Dan at those times stood out to me, for his smile, engaging energy, and passion for his family. My efforts in this letter is to express the loss from what I have seen in his family. Since Dan's murder, the scope of this loss is incalculable and inconsolable. For Ruth and Phil, there is no expectation that life gets back to normal, because there is nothing normal after the loss of a child. At best, one may find a, quote, new normal, unquote. There is also the loss of contact with Dan's children, their grandchildren, which denies them the comfort of seeing Dan's living legacy grow and flourish in the world. For his sister Shelley, her husband Ian, and their children, Mikkel, Ari, and Ronnie, the loss of family is measured in relation to the kind of connection they had before the murder. To this, I can attest. The familial bonds were deep and loving. There could never be a full or real family celebration without Dan being present, and his absence colors and darkens every moment they have enjoyed and will enjoy in the future. It is the loss of a brother, an uncle, and the loss of nephews and cousins, which is to say, there are losses in life that seldom exist without an echo. And Dan's murder is no exception to this. It leaves a devastating gap in their lives, and none of this, of course, accounts for the what ifs. What of the people he would have met, the love he would have shared, the joyous moments he would have celebrated, the comfort he would have provided in challenging times, the academic work that would have influenced the world we live in. Therein lies the insight to your request for a victim impact statement. The true impact is the denial of all of the things that might have been, but now will never be. Sincerely, Rabbi Aaron Flansrank, Senior Rabbi, Beth Shalom Synagogue, Toronto, Ontario. That's what I have for today, guys. Please hit the thumbs up. Really does make a difference. If you haven't hit the thumbs up, please hit it now. Subscribe to the channel. Share this episode. Write me a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Support the show on Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, Venmo. And I will be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Thanks for being with me and listening. See you tomorrow. Wrong one. This is how out of sorts I am. I can't even hit the right button, guys. What a close. What a day, huh? What a day.
Oh, Donna, what a stitch you're in. You plotted a murder 'cause you wanted to raise your daughter's kid. Tallahassee is just a stop on the way to civilization. Miami is where all the fancy people are at. The TV is about 5. You can't get away from that. Two-toe, tay-toe, hoo-ho, you know the guy you pay, and you can't get away from that. Oh, Donna, what a stitch you're in. You thought jail was just for the little people, but now you're so blankets with the locked up crew. You're a grandmother in lockdown, and your one-way ride to freedom you blew. What a stitch you're in. Your family are exiled from the social circles you swam in. We all know you never made that banana bread or offered to babysit for Dan, but you'll soon be making license plates and thinking about what could have been. Oh, Donna, you had to plan a